Hey everyone, Duke here, and today we're going to go over how to get the gold score on Ultimatum Mode for Prophecy with a focus on the final boss, the Kell Echo. Now, there's a little bit of setup I want to talk about before we begin and talk about the full encounter because I think this is very important. We use Queenbreaker for DPS, and a couple things you are going to really want to have equipped no matter what character you're playing, whatever else, is Heavy Ammo, Finder, and Scout. This is going to make it so that you can make heavy for both you and your team. That's going to be one of the most annoying parts of this, is getting ammo in that second round after the first round, because any ammo you made in the first round doesn't actually carry over with the whole pyramid changing and rotating, and you're technically in a different room. So the more ammo you can make kind of quickly, or at least semi-quickly in the second round, the better. Additionally, to kind of pair with that, you're definitely going to want Arc Scavenger in order to get more ammo from each brick. One weapon I would highly recommend if you have it, and if you don't have it, I'd recommend going and getting it because it's still acquirable and craftable, is the Aberrant Action with Heal Clip and Incandescent. The Heal Clip here is going to be, again, a huge lifesaver on every single character with Attrition active this week. This is going to give you a guaranteed way to kind of constantly have healing no matter the class you're on. Now, my setup was on Solar Warlock with Speaker's Sight. I feel like having at least one of these on your team is very, very beneficial both towards your own survival and your teammates' survival. You can definitely run multiple as well. Having a Bolt Charge Titan is also very, very nice in terms of more damage and more ways to survive. Now, in terms of the artifact, a couple things you're absolutely going to want. Again, particle reconstruction with the usage of linear fusions with Queenbreaker. Definitely want to have particle reconstruction on. I'd also, again, recommend, if you do have a Bolt Charge Titan on your team, having Defibrillating Blast active as well as Flashover. That's going to give you both heals and more damage from your bolt charges that are proccing off of that Titan barricade. And the final thing you're really, really going to want to have is Gold from Lead. And we're going to show you a little bit of a secret tip that you can use here. But basically, every couple special ammo bricks that you pick up, this is going to give you more heavy. Going back to the whole, again, being a little bit annoying getting heavy between rounds thing, this will make that a little bit easier, a little bit faster. As usual, I do have two loadouts set up for a boss encounter here, and as I was mentioning, the first loadout is going to have Scavenger and Finder and Scout. That's kind of the main importances. I also do have the loaders on for my Rocket Sidearm rather than Heavy because, I'm not really using the Heavy during the ad clear phase. Now, when I go to the damage phase loadout right next to it, I do put on both Powerful Friends and Radiant Light in order to make sure that I'm giving my teammates armor charge. Now, I am also the Well usually, so that's also giving them armor charge, but, might as well throw that in. Arc Loaders switch for the Heavy, because again, I'm going to be using Heavy mostly during DPS. 3 Surges, this is huge. This is like the biggest and most important reason to run separate loadouts, is that you can have your Scavenger and your Recuperation for survival and ammo during the ad clear part, and then you can still have your 22% bonus damage with 3 Surges during the DPS part. I do also switch to 2 time dilations during DPS to keep the armor charge active for longer. Again, during ad clear phase, I have a Proximity Ward, Bomber, and Special Finisher. This Special Finisher is good, again, for ammo, just for special. It's good for pairing with Gold from Lead, and it's also good to store armor charges. For this encounter, for both DPS and the ad clear phase, I do use one of each resistance, or one of each main resistance, Arc, Void, and Solar. There's just kind of threats from all different damage types, so having one of each is kind of just the best bang for your buck, as they do decrease the amount you're getting when you stack them. So now let's go over some tips about the encounter itself. The first #1 tip I would give, well, kind of combo tip, is you want to make sure, first of all, to check what the buffs are that you need, the lights or the darks, and second of all, to try to get one gotten rid of as quick as possible, because, to start, you don't really have any cover. The bosses are going to be shooting you from the sides, the enemies obviously are kind of spawning near the middle, so getting any corner done as fast as possible. If you can, at least for us, we like to play near the raid flag to start, so getting one of the closer ones is helpful. Again, using barricades to help keep your team alive, using healing turrets, stuff like that, going to be very helpful. Or again, even if you're a hunter, something like Invis or healing grenades on Solar, very beneficial. Or you can, again, be more of a build where you have some of your own built-in healing for yourself on any of the classes as well. Now, again, once you have one done, you want to make sure to focus that first Ogre down immediately, and your team can kind of rotate together as you're going through the different sides, right? You get the second Ogre, you get the second Cleanse, you get the second Ogre, having your team together to try to get him down as quick as possible, especially if you get one like this, you get the Meteors, you get some sort of Bane Ogre to spawn in. That's going to be a lot more dangerous, so you want to be ready to kill them pretty much ASAP. Another thing I would highly, highly, highly recommend in here is whenever the Scions spawn, just try to focus them down first. Obviously, they're like less threatening on their own, but they're just extra things. You don't really think about them, and they start multiplying, and there's a bunch of them. They're going to be a lot more threatening than you think. So definitely try to get those scions down. And again, once you've gotten all 3 down, make sure you go ahead and get that 3rd ogre. You don't technically have to get the 3rd ogre down. That used to be a strat that I would use. It's just like ignore the 3rd ogre and go immediately. I wouldn't do that. It's going to save you like 5 seconds, and you're going to need to kind of slow down for the next round anyway. So don't try to rush it. But once you are ready, you can start dropping down. Again, if you're using the loadout swap thing that I'm doing and would recommend, very easy to just swap your loadout as you're falling down. And we're going to do damage here from the left side. So if you're the well, you can come over to the left side, drop a well down, and drop a barricade down. If you're the Titan, if there are you got any sort of supers that aren't well, thunder crashes, tethers, golden guns, whatever else, want to use those here as quick as possible. Get them off, get them as much damage here. This is kind of our baseline damage. Now again, another tip I would recommend is just jumping over the blaster that he does every time. It's very consistent. Sometimes there's a few times that I jump a little bit too short, but if you jump high enough, very consistent rather than trying to like dodge or move sideways, etc. Now, as you may or may not know, there is a new mechanic in this part where there are the motes that are going to be dropping during this phase. Honestly, we ignore that for the beginning. My goal here is basically, as we're going through and we're killing the first couple knights, I want to try to get to like 3 or 4 motes until we get to this final right platform. There will be a knight here that will drop again 3 motes. And I want to have 3 or 4 so that I can get to 5 and be ready to cleanse at this final right side. Now here, I do want to wait until the boss is directly across from me, just in terms of being a better spot for damage, so that's why I don't cleanse right away. I was actually almost a little bit too fast on this run. You don't necessarily have to have the 5 until he's a little bit closer. But again, as soon as he does come over there, you can go ahead and cleanse that spot, and what will happen is he will actually stay in this spot for significantly longer. Now you did notice that I didn't jump quite high enough, so I got knocked back a little bit, lost a little bit of damage time, but again, that's okay here. But yeah, you're going to notice if you do this cleanse, you will have him stand there for a lot longer. Now again, you could do that for the first one on the left side as well, but I'd recommend just doing this flow. We're actually going to go ahead back through this round just to kind of show you the reason and kind of how everything worked out. Because again, it does move pretty fast, but again, starting at the beginning, we're just doing damage, and as soon as he does the teleport, there's so many adds up, right? Like you're kind of all focused on damage. You got knight on the right, you got knight on the left, you still got the normal hobgoblin snipers. So rather than worrying about trying to get the 5 motes quick enough to get that first cleanse on left and then actually do damage there, like you don't really have time to do damage. You want to clear all these adds and be safe. So again, recommend very heavily using this strategy. I feel like it's been very consistent for us today. It's been very, very smooth. Is just basically killing all the adds, ignoring the damage phase completely after that first section that we did. Again, getting to 3 to 4 motes in this area. And I actually like pushing past the boss, as you can see here. Like I'm pushing past the boss, but still staying, near that dark entropy area so that I'm not, stacking dark entropy too high. Making sure we get those last snipers down. My team is doing a really good job pushing ahead as well. So they're getting the snipers down. Again, here I would recommend maybe not being here so early. It's just because I'm just sitting here with the mote kind of, not being able to do anything. But as soon as he teleports there, grab the last couple motes, dunk it, and then you can start damage here. Again, jump a little bit higher so you don't get hit by that, but again, shows that it's not too bad. Again, now you'll see, again, our damage looks a little bit rough, right? Like we've only done a quarter. But here, we stagger him here. He sits here for a long while. We can get those barricades pop down. We can, focus big damage as a group right here, pop down. Again, if you get your super back, as you can see, I'm very close. So, on well, I'm not going to use it a second time. If I was like Thunder Crash, Golden Gun, maybe even Tether would be a little bit iffy. But, if I was Thunder Crash or Golden Gun, something like that, I would definitely want to try to pop that second super if I did get it. Because, those are damage supers. Makes sense to try to use them right away. But as you can see here, now we're putting him solidly under half, even just basically doing damage at the start and damage at the end. Now, once this damage phase is over, a couple things you can do. You can actually go back and look for ammo, which I did not do here. Probably would have been a good idea. But also very easy to swap back to your original loadout, so you're ready for ad clear phase. And second thing, again, as the well person, reason I don't want to use that second well, even if I get it, is I can use it here. Again, we're going to be low resources, right? We're going to have low ability, low supers potentially on other people. We're going to have, like, no ammo potentially. So having this well here as set up to kind of get us into the second rotation is really, really helpful, really makes things a lot smoother, a lot easier. But again, the same strategy is going to apply here. We don't have ammo like we did the first round, but we're trying to get at least one side cleared out as quick as we can, whether it's the left, the right, doesn't matter. Any of the 3 sides, just to get us some cover will be great. So here we get the dark modes, we get this side clear, and from there it's again kind of a smooth ride. It's just, you have one side cleared, kind of work on the motes, all the things you need to do. Now, the thing that's annoying in this encounter, everything else here, we have a really good strat, works really, really well, is the ammo, right? So the last thing we're going to talk about is kind of how the getting ammo for the second round is working. So we're going to skip ahead and show you that here now. So once you've cleared all 3 of the bosses in the 3 corners and cleared all 3 of the ogres, there will be consistent scion spawning the entire, every 30 seconds consistently until you decide to go down, right? So you have an unlimited amount of time to just keep farming these scions and try to get ammo. So couple things here. Again, this is why we have our finders and scouts on, so that we can make heavy for both ourselves and our teammates. As you saw, I kind of just passed up a heavy right there, grabbed that. This is also why we have scavenger on. And this is also why we have gold from lead on. Again, these are all things that are going to make this phase take less time. It's still going to be honestly, this part waiting here for ammo is probably, if you're doing things well, going to be longer than the rest of the encounter combined. But it's very worth it. Like, it's worth it to just go ahead and get the 2 phase. You just got to get through the phases, get through the kind of killing stuff and everything, staying alive twice. Make sure you're going with enough damage and enough ammo on the second round. It's worth the patience. It's worth the time. Now, the other tip I have here, again, if you do have special finisher on, or again, you just make special. Right now I am full on special, so if we'll see here if this wave gives me special ammo. If not, we'll skip ahead and kind of show you. But basically, if you are full special and you see special ammo on the ground, what you can do is just shoot off one of your special shots and then pick up the special, and that will basically give you the chance for gold from lead to proc. Again, if you're normally if you're full special, you can't pick up special, right? So really, really small tip, but really helpful tip here. Again, we'll skip ahead, try to show it in action. So here I do have 3 armor charge, so I can go ahead and do a finisher to try to make special on one of these guys. Again, you'll see that I'm full special and can't pick it up right away. But once I do get, make sure everything's safe, I'll just shoot off a special, pick up the special, and that one didn't make me heavy. Again, it's like every 3 to 4-ish, it feels like. Every 3 to 4-ish special ammo is going to make you heavy with that gold from lead proc. And again, even with scavenger, I think it's only 2 ammo, but believe me, every little bit of extra ammo you can get a little bit faster here is going to be very helpful and just save you some time, be a little bit less annoying. So I went back in the footage a little bit just to find a spot where I did actually get ammo. So again, there I made special. I'm full special, couldn't pick it up. I shot the special, and then I did get the 2 heavy proc from the gold from lead, just to show it in action that it does work. Again, it's 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4 chance, so it's not going to be every single one, but as you're farming heavy here, very beneficial. And as a special surprise to you dedicated gamers that watch the entire video, I do have some polychromatic refraction emblems to give away, and we're going to be giving away one to someone that comments on this video. In order to enter, all you're going to need to do is put your favorite class in Destiny 2, as well as your favorite part of it. That could be anything. It could be a certain campaign mission, raids, dungeons, Crucible, a certain weapon. Doesn't have to be crazy. It could be a word or 2 if it's just raids, whatever. It could be a paragraph, it could be a whole story. I'd love to hear it, I'd love to see it, but all you gotta do, put your favorite class and your favorite thing about the game. That'll get you in. We're gonna pull 1 person to get a polychromatic refraction emblem by the end of Sunday night, so you do need to make sure that you do this before Sunday ends. And that's all for today. I hope this video was helpful, and we will be doing helps for this Prophecy Ultimatum mode on my stream throughout this week and next, as well as the final 4 weeks before the expansion. We'll be trying to do helps just on all the dungeons when they're all available. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.